Hello everyone and welcome to a new channel. This is Southern Belle Simming. My name is Sharkette126. Later we will have some content from my co-creator DJSakurame. But to start with, we are going to jump right in. I am starting a new challenge here. And our new challenge is actually going to be an adoption challenge created by me. I've looked up a couple of adoption challenges and I really didn't like what it was that they were wanting to do. So I kind of created my own, and it's meant to be a single generation, but it can be a legacy. But for starters, I'll kind of go over how I got started here. So, the idea of the challenge, you'll start with a single sim. A young adult can be either male or female. For this time, I'm going to go with a female. And basically, what we're going to do is you can have the gender be whatever you want. You can do the customization options over here if you want to. I'm doing kind of a standard female. You can do any kind of traits or aspirations for this challenge. But remember, your sim is not going to be able, once they start adopting, they're not going to be allowed to have a career outside the home. They can have one when they start, but as soon as they reach a point where they can adopt, which I'll go over the rules for that in a little bit, they won't be able to have a career outside the home. So be very careful choosing traits or anything. For her, what I'm doing is I have the big happy family aspiration, because the goal is going to be to adopt as many children as possible. She's family oriented, neat, and a goofball, and I had picked those traits just because I kind of figured they'd help her with kids. So her backstory is basically she was put up for adoption when she was very young, basically orphaned, and she grew up in the foster system and had some good homes and not so good homes, never actually got adopted, and basically she's been working hard and saving up money. She's just now got out of her, she's just now become a young adult, so she's moving out on her own for the first time, and her goal is to adopt as many children as possible into a good home, because she knows exactly what can happen sometimes in the foster system. And like I said, sometimes there's good families and sometimes there's not, but she knows it's important for stability for kids, so her goal is to adopt as many children as possible. So, without further ado, we're going to start this off, and the first thing we're going to have to build her a house, because I haven't done that yet. So, the very first thing we're going to do, we need to start off on a 50 by 50 lot, and I haven't decided yet which town I'm going to start her off in yet. You can bulldoze a house if you need to, but it has to start on a 50 by 50. So, let me see what's available. And I can always go in and bulldoze something later. You know what, I think is there one in Newcrest? It's been a while since I've done this. Nope, not in Newcrest. Okay. So let's figure out somewhere. Oasis Springs? Do they have one there? No. Not one I can pick, anyway. Let's find one real quick. This takes me a minute. My apologies. I probably should have scouted this out beforehand. Good to know for next time. Let me try... I don't really know Brindleton Bay that well. Let's build it here. But before I can do that... Here, I'm gonna, for the moment, to get her started, I'm gonna move her into a smaller lot just for a second. Because I should have prepped this beforehand, but I didn't. I'll know for next time, for this session, so... loading... And then we'll go in and we'll bulldoze and we'll move her into the correct lot, and we'll pick up there in a minute. Alrighty guys, so now we have her in the Brindleton Bay lot. I've gone ahead and cleared it out because the lot before was going to be way too expensive. So I've gone ahead and cleared it. This is actually 64 by 64 lot, which I didn't realize when I started, but that's okay. It's just going to make the challenge a little bit more difficult, which is totally cool. So basically what we're going to have to start with here, I wrote down my rules to help me remember. For the house, basically what we're going to do, we are basically going to build a very simple one-bedroom home. And it's going to be a little bit more challenging here because there's only 8,000 to work with as opposed to the 10,000 we'd normally have if we purchased a 50 by 50 lot. But the only other spot I could work with was in Willow Creek, and I really didn't want to do that. So I'd prefer to start with Brindleton Bay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, real quick, we're going to build her a little house. Nothing too fancy because she really can't afford anything right now. It's just going to be just enough to kind of start her off. We'll give her, like I said, a little bedroom, a little bathroom, and like a common area. No, I don't want to build that right there. Do that there. And that's probably about the shape of the house. Okay, so, oh, the little bathroom went away. Hold on one second, guys. Clicked the wrong button. Let's do this. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Give her a nice front door. And in future episodes, I'll probably already go ahead and have a lot of this done to begin with, but this time I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of my process, how I do this. I did cut out creating the main character, our main sim, but because I knew that would be kind of boring to just have to sit there and watch that. But in future, I think I'll cut out the house building unless you guys really want to see it. So here, what I'll do is I'll kind of just build this real quick, and we'll just kind of fast forward through this, and I'll see you guys as soon as her little house is done. there we go, guys. We've got a very basic house. You'll notice I'm gonna preface this experiment by saying I am not a stellar simmer, and I'm okay with that. I'm a very casual player. The main reason I'm doing this Let's Play and embarking on this journey is not because I am the best simmer out there. I don't believe I am. There are many simmers who play the game a lot better than I do, but I do feel like, you know, I want to get my opinion on the games out there and stuff. I enjoy playing the game. I do it because it's fun, and I want to put it out there and have people realize, you don't have to be a great simmer to enjoy this game. You don't have to be good at the game in order to enjoy it and have a lot of fun playing the game. So that's basically what I'm here to do. I want to share with people my own enjoyment of the game and kind of just make it easy for people to realize, look, you don't have to be great to do this. You really don't. You just have to believe in yourself and enjoy it, you know, and if you have fun, then that's really all that matters. Another thing you may notice as time progresses and as we go through and start doing this, I have ADHD really bad, so you'll notice there may be times like when I'm building. That's one of the reasons why I'm considering cutting out building in future. But I am very liable to start losing track of what I'm doing and to forget what it is I'm doing next, or even what I was going to say next. You'll notice I hesitate a lot and repeat myself a lot, and that's just because I have ADHD really bad. So I hope that doesn't bother you guys. I hope that y'all can overlook that. But anyway, so now that the house is done, we're going to get this thing started. And she's going to start off by getting a job because she's not going to be able to adopt for some time. So, real quick, before we continue with this, let's get her the job. And then I'll kind of go over the rules for the rest of the challenge, just so you guys know kind of what we're looking for. And that's probably going to be it. By the time I go through all the rules and stuff, that's probably going to be about it for this episode. So let's start off by, we'll have her get a job. And I'll show off all her outfits later if y'all want to see them. I'm sure you'll see them at different points during the Let's Play. I don't want to give her anything that she's going to have to work too hard at. Mostly just because she's not going to be able to do it for very long. So let's do business. Business seems easy enough. And she doesn't have a computer to fill out reports, but that's okay. I could probably send her to the library to work on that. Okay, so in fact, let's do that. Let's have her go ahead and we'll go to the library and see if we can find... Oh. It's been a little while since I played the game too, guys, so if you see me fumbling... And any tips you guys have, honestly, I'm happy to have any tips you guys have for me. So if y'all know ways to make building easier, or if you guys see anything... the other thing I want you guys to be aware of is that I have almost all of the expansion packs. I do not use CC in my game, and I don't, meaning custom content for those that don't know. I don't use custom content in my game, partly because it has a tendency to break when new updates are released, and two, I have a hard time. I don't like to play games or watch Let's Plays and see cool stuff in people's games that I don't have access to, especially because sometimes I've had times where I watched a Let's Play and somebody had like a cute shirt, and I actually went to go try to find the shirt and the download link was gone. Like, they had taken the download down and I couldn't find it anymore, and that was really frustrating. So I'm going to do my best to keep my Let's Plays custom content free. Now, DJSakurame, she has... I know she uses custom content in her game, and I'm not entirely opposed to having custom content in my game. The one thing that is important for me is that if I do custom content, it needs to be Maxis Match. So it needs to look like it belongs with all the rest of the stuff. And it needs to serve, like, an actual purpose. It needs to be something I can see myself using a lot. Like, I actually had in one of my games before they released, I think in Sims 3, I had downloaded an upright piano custom content piece that took up less space, and then that was before Late Night came out, where they had the like synthesizer keyboard that already didn't take up a lot of space. So that's pretty much something you guys should know. The only 2 packs I don't have, I'm not big on anything horror or spooky or Halloween. That's just not me. That's not my style. It's not my thing. So I don't have spooky stuff, and I don't have vampires, and I have no plans to get them. I'm not interested in having them. DJSakurame has all of the packs, and she can show off anything that y'all want to see that I don't have access to. We'll probably do some stuff together, but for now, just kind of starting off, we'll be doing a kind of getting to know you video where we talk a little bit about ourselves in a little, hopefully soon. Show off our sim selves and things like that. So we're going to leave her filling out reports here. That'll kind of just get us started. And real quick, I'll go over the remaining rules of the challenge, and I'll post them in the video link in the video description. So your sim can get married eventually and have up to 1 biological child. But it's not recommended, because the goal is to have as many adopted children in your house as possible, to adopt as many children as you can, and having your own biological child or even getting married, that kind of takes up room in the house for adopted children. Now, if that's something that's going to be important to your Sim's backstory, you're welcome to do that. And it's always possible for you to have like a significant other and date and just choose not to get married. That's possible too. But I don't recommend having any more than 1 biological child, because like I said, even the 1 takes up space for adoption. So when we do begin to adopt, which won't be for a little while, when we do begin to do that, I will be kind of random rolling and trying to get diversity in my adoption. I'll probably be rolling dice or using random number generators to determine which child I'm going to adopt. But we can't start adopting until we have money and room for the kids. So each of the kids has to have their own room. And you have to have at least 1 bathroom for every 2 kids. And the bathroom you use cannot be shared with a child. So you're going to end up with a house that if you got the house filled, at minimum you should have 8 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms is what you should have. So, and you can do 1 bathroom per room, and that's totally fine, but you don't want to have more than 2 kids sharing your bathroom, because the bathroom routine takes forever. And you want to make sure that you don't have a line down the hall. So if you and I kind of imagine it like, at least for my sim, with her background, she wants to give the adopted kids in her house the best life they can have. And so she doesn't want them to have to put up with some of the stuff that she had to put up with in foster care. So she's going to make sure that she is able to really give them the best. Okay, we're going to have her do... Oh, there it is. Oh, she can't do it again. Okay, so she's already done that. We'll have her browse parenting forums. Start building her parenting skill, because she's going to be wanting to do that before long. Did I tell her to do a pen pal? Oh well. Also, when we start getting kids, you're going to need to either have the room built and furnished for your child, which is totally an option. If you're planning to random roll, you need to have a minimum of $5,000 available before you can adopt, so that way you can furnish the room. You need to have the room built, so that way you have the walls up, and then have a minimum of $5,000 to use to furnish. So that way, you know, if you're trying to if you don't know if you're going to get like a baby or a toddler or a child, that way you're not like building a room for a child and you get a baby, you know. So just make sure you have the room is built, minimum of $5,000 available, and the room needs to be furnished immediately after the adoption. Otherwise, if you're not going to do that, like if you're like, I'm only going to adopt female children, then each room needs to be, oh wow, she's mad. We'll have her blow off some steam here in a minute. I'll go find, is that the right bathroom? Let's see. We'll have her go find that. I kind of lost my train of thought. There's the ADHD popping up. Basically, if you know you're only going to adopt female children, then you should have the room furnished completely before the child arrives. The other is just because I do want to, ideally, if you're adopting, you'd have diversity. But you're with a particular Sims background, it might make more sense that, you know, they only want to adopt a certain kind of child. Either, you know, maybe they're only interested in adopting infants or something. So, we'll do that. You want to see each of the kids will have to max out at least one skill in each life stage. I don't have any point system set up, but you want to see them max out at least one skill. So the toddlers should max out one of their skills. The kids should max out one of the children's skills. And teenagers, before they become young adults, should max out a regular skill. And you can play this on any... Actually, I should probably check and see what the options are set to. I didn't look at that. Gameplay... Okay, I want them on long lifespan. For me, that's important. Wow, there's some new stuff in here. Cool. So I want to play it on long lifespan. Totally up to you what lifespan you want to play it on. And I haven't created a point system for this yet, and I may eventually do so, but currently I have no plans to. It's more of a how did you do kind of thing. Anyway, also it would be preferable for one of the life skills bars to be maxed out, at least by the time they become a young adult, because of course it doesn't actually matter until they age up from teen to young adult. I want to see the kids should get a minimum of a B in school. I would definitely prefer to see A's. Because it's not that hard to do, but B's are okay, particularly for teens who have jobs, because it may not always be possible for them to get their homework done, and that's understandable. And then you have to interact with all of the children that you currently have adopted every day, so you can't just ignore the kids. Oh, and I talked about earlier that you can't have a career outside the home once you adopt kids. That's because you need to be able to, if you're adopting these kids, you want to make sure that you are taking care of the kids. So you don't want to be going off every day and leaving the little ones with a babysitter, because that's kind of backwards from what your goal is to do. So once your sim starts adopting kids, they'll have to switch from working outside the home to having something they can do at home to earn money, whether they're gardening or painting or collecting or any combination of those. Any kind of thing they can do at home to make money is acceptable, but it has to be something they can do at home. Also, as soon as any of the kids reaches the young adult stage, they need to get a job and move out to make room for more kids. So that's pretty much it. It's meant to be a single generation. I do have rules for legacy. Those will be posted in the description box below. If you're interested in seeing more of this challenge, please go ahead and hit subscribe down below. Like the video so that I know that you guys want to see some more of this. We'll hopefully have some new videos up soon, and everybody, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you back next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.